begin tonight with breaking news at 10. CBS News has confirmed that the U.S. Justice Department has opened an investigation into child sex abuse within the Catholic Church, including the Diocese of Buffalo. CBS News has learned the U.S. attorneys have subpoenaed at least 7 Catholic dioceses in Pennsylvania and our diocese here in Buffalo. The focus involves alleged trafficking of minors across state lines for the purpose of sex abuse. This comes after that scathing grand jury report uncovered decades of abuse by more than 300 priests and at least 1,000 children in Pennsylvania. Now, we received a statement from the Buffalo Diocese moments ago regarding the subpoena. They tell us they gave the local U.S. Attorney's Office some document months ago and added our response has nothing to do with the Pennsylvania abuse investigation. Also tonight, we're hearing from a new person hired in the Buffalo Diocese. A former FBI agent will now handle the investigations of abuse by our local clergy. News 4's Jen Shant sat down with Steve Halter tonight, who joined the diocese last month.
For 28 years, Stephen Halter investigated for the FBI. Now he's doing it for the Catholic Church. He was recently hired to head up the Buffalo Diocese's new Office of Professional Responsibility. One of his key focuses will be on allegations of sex abuse.
There is a crisis occurring, and they need individuals who will come forward in a fair and unbiased approach, take a look at these things, go out and interview people. Jen, my job is to interview people, get them to feel comfortable enough to talk to me, to tell me the truth, and from there to make sure, is an allegation true or false?
The diocese approached Halter, who says he took a pay cut to take this job.
Obviously, I had read the news, I had seen the news, read the newspapers. I knew that there was some issues that had arisen, and that's when I first started thinking, hey, I think I could help with that.
He's working with the state AG's office, which launched a civil probe into dioceses across New York State back in early September. Part of that probe is looking at whether or not church leaders covered up alleged abuse. How would you characterize that? I mean, was there a cover-up?
I don't have enough information to know everything. I'd have to, again, I want to deal with facts, Jen. Again, obviously there's mistakes that have been made in the past.
He says his goal is making sure mistakes aren't made moving forward.
In my position, I've been given complete access to any records I need. I have not been restricted in any way, shape, or form to review anything which is necessary for my position.
Are you looking at a diocese saying they're doing it right? Let's mirror what they're doing.
What I'd like to say is come back and talk to me in a few months and I'll tell you it's a Buffalo Diocese.
So you're confident in saying that within a few months you feel like Buffalo could be a national model for how these allegations are investigated?
That's what I'm trying to do, yes.
Back in March, before Halter joined the Buffalo Diocese, it released the names of 42 accused priests. Since then, Channel 4 has reported on more than a dozen additional accused priests. Can you say how many active cases the diocese is looking at now?
No, I could not comment on that. That is a fluid number that is being looked at all the time, Jen.
Can you give us a ballpark number? Are we around 100?
42 was the correct number at the time. At this point in time, I could not discuss that, but again, every day it's being put out there. Information is being provided to the State Attorney General's office, which I'm sure you know.
Have you given the Attorney General's office a number?
We've given them records, and again, we're in the process of determining what the amount is. But again, that number is always going to be fluid, right? It's always going to change a little bit. And as we receive more information or more allegations, the number is going to rise.
Halter says a new list will be released in the near future. Jen Shantz, News 4.
Thank you, Jen. And a local deacon who originally made the call for Bishop Richard Malone to resign is now taking his call for action to the top. Deacon Paul Snyder is asking Pope Francis' top U.S. representatives to intervene in the clergy sex abuse crisis in the Buffalo Diocese. He shipped out a package including letters, news reports, and victim statements to the papal nuncio and other papal leaders across the country. He says it's key to taking back the Catholic Church.
Silence is what got us into this mess. People not speaking out is what got us into this problem. We love being Catholic and will remain strong ambassadors for sharing God's word by our actions, but we will not stand by and be hypocrites of our faith by supporting those in power who have been unable to share the truth.
Bishop Malone has rejected several calls to step down, saying he would not do so until after his 75th birthday, when he's required to retire. For complete coverage of the Buffalo Diocese sex abuse scandal, you can download our free News 4 app, or you can go to WIVB.com. New tonight, a man who attacked his girlfriend's landlord learned his fate today. A judge sentenced Leonard Black to 4 years in the slammer. He pled guilty to assault charges last year. Prosecutors say he punched his girlfriend's landlord in the head, and then he stomped on his head as he was on the ground. The victim suffered a broken eye socket in that attack. Developers are working to give the former Children's Hospital site a new lease on life. Sinatra and Company unveiled its plans to transform the campus into a mixed-use village. And surrounding neighborhoods were invited to attend an informational session tonight and give feedback about these plans. News 4's Rachel Monjovi shows us a sneak peek at what we can expect. Rachel?
It's a big site with even bigger plans. Sinatra and Company and Ellicott Development are getting closer to starting work on the former Women and Children's Hospital. More than 7 acres of land will be renovated in phases.
There's going to be condos for sale, townhomes for sale. There's going to be apartments for rent. We're going to have restaurants. We're going to have retail, public art. We're going to have tons of green space.
The mixed-use village will also include an urban grocery store, office space, a daycare center, and a hotel. The first phase of the project will begin at Elmwood and Bryant. Construction will start within 60 days.
This is going to absolutely change the dynamic in that corridor. We're calling it Elmwood Crossing because it's a great location sort of in between Allentown and Elmwood Village, 2 great neighborhoods.
It's only been 11 months since the historic move from Women and Children's Hospital to Oishei Children's Hospital downtown. People who live near this site say they're happy to see plans are moving forward to transform this 600,000 square foot campus that otherwise would have sat vacant.
There are a lot of hospitals in New York State that are empty right now and sitting vacant for 10, 20, 30 years. So I think we're lucky that we've gotten this far with it.
Peggy Moriarty lives across the street from the site. She's impressed with the plans.
I think that they really have worked with the neighborhood, so I'm very pleased with what they've done.
But for 16-year resident Margaret Yakabuchi, she has some reservations about the project.
We would like to see some green space, and if you're going to put in hundreds of apartments, you have to have enough parking for those apartments, and I don't see that here.
Sinatra and Development says the feedback from tonight will help the company make any adjustments necessary. The entire project is expected to wrap up by 2021. The more than $100 million development is one of the city's largest privately funded projects. Rachel Monjovi, News 4.
Thank you, Rachel. We're going to turn to the forecast right now, and we're going to take a live look over downtown Buffalo. Don't let that live shot fool you. It is nippy out there as the mercury is taking a dip. Andrew Baglini is here to tell us if Jack Frost is going to pay a little visit to the pumpkins tonight, Andrew.
Yeah, actually not tonight. We've got a little bit of a change heading our way for your Friday, Don, and maybe some good news. We'll have a little warm-up to wrap up the week, send you into the weekend pretty nice, and then the weekend itself, well, that's a completely different story. We're going to be talking about that in a little bit. I want to start off, we had the snow on the ground in some spots this morning. Wasn't that far off from our average first flakes here in Buffalo, typically October 24th, at least that's average. So just under a week before that. It really isn't all that unheard of. Our average first measurable snow, November 8th, we only had a trace at the airport, but the record, the earliest first flakes we ever saw back in September 20th. So we're about 27 days past that. So certainly not unheard of what we had this morning. Well, no snow flying out there tonight. The radar is clear. The satellite has been clearing up as well as high pressure builds in. So take a look at these temperatures. It is chilly across a lot of western New York. In fact, we're getting a few freezing readings, 32 in Jamestown, Olean, 29 down in Coudersport. But here in Buffalo, we've got that lake breeze, and that is in its own right making things feel a little bit chilly outside, but it's keeping us warm warmer. We're in the mid-40s right now, and those temperatures are going to hold steady and then actually rise a little bit heading into sunrise tomorrow morning. So it is still a bit of a cool start, but not quite what we felt like this morning. So that's some good news. And then check it out for the afternoon. Temperatures get back into the mid and upper 50s. Warmest will be for the next week, so enjoy that. Mostly clear outside tonight. Few clouds around the metro. The breeze is picking up, though, and that'll cause temperatures to rise overnight. Coming up in your full forewarned forecast, I'll let you know about some unsettled weather heading our way this weekend. Don?
Thank you, Andrew. And next at 10, former workers at Tonawanda Coke still waiting to get their final paychecks. Their fate is now in the hands of a judge.